Welcome, y'all. It's Wes with DIY Food Plot Pro. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have ever struggled hanging a ladder stand, well, you can join that club. It's a task that many of us hate doing. We don't move our stands around because it's such a pain in the butt, especially to do by ourselves. This is something that I learned a couple years ago that'll make your life so much easier when trying to hang these ladder stands. So a little backstory, I've got about 1,800 acres and I've got 30 to 40 of these ladder stands that I move around on a year-to-year basis. I needed a way to be able to do this by myself. I don't have anybody hired to work with me here, so this was something that was always a tall task for me. And one day it just all came to an epic blowout. I was trying to hang a ladder stand on a hillside, you know, where I'm down here and the bottom of the ladder stand's here, and I can't get that leverage. And every time I get it up about here, the bottom would slip and I would fall and drop it, and it was a disaster. So I went back to the house and I put a pen to paper and I started thinking, how do I do this more efficiently, safer, and a way that I can do this every single time by myself and not get hurt or not have any failure no matter what the terrain is. My ladder stands right here. The top of it is, the bottom of it is underneath that maple tree right there. The most important part of this process is making sure when you start up that you've got a clear path. That's the most important part, because even if you're leveraged and you're good, if you don't have a clear path, it's going to be a disaster time you hit any size limb at all, even a small one. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make sure that I've got a clear path where this ladder stand can go straight up. One important thing to note, the side I'm gonna be hunting on is over there. I usually do this on the back side of a plot. That way, if I have to trim a lot, which most of the time you don't, this one I'm just gonna have to nip a few small ones. But if you ever have to nip a whole bunch, you're on the back side of your plot, you're not running your cover on the front side where you want all your cover from your deer. These ladder stands are a River's Edge lockdown 1.5 man, I think it's 18.5 foot stand. They're some of the heaviest stands that I've ever used. They're really good quality stands. I really like them, but they are bad heavy. If they're not at 100 pounds, they're right there at it. These don't have the little 1-inch frame. These have the big, I don't know, like octagon frame. This is just a big heavy duty stand. I really like them, but they are super heavy and makes them really hard to put up by yourself. So the problem with this is leverage. When you get that ladder stand up, this bottom tries to scoot on you. It happens every time. If you have 2 or 3 guys, you almost always have somebody down here holding and a couple guys raising up. What I've got, a couple from the shop, and all I'm gonna do is get this started at an angle. You want your ladder stand to be able to come up. Notice that I'm driving this to where this goes over that first step on the ladder. Okay, and we'll do the same thing for the other side. You can use a third one if you want to. As good and solid as that ground is, I don't think I'm gonna need to. I'm just gonna leave it just like that. That's plenty. Normally I put 3 or 4. We're so dry, the ground's hard as a rock, and those are 18 inches deep in the soil, so I don't think there's any reason to put another one. This is something that's a little dangerous. I'm gonna be underneath that ladder stand. I know that I can do this. I've done this many times. I always recommend having 2 guys there, one on each side. That's the safest way to get that ladder stand up. But just wanted to say, don't try this at home. This is just how I do it. I don't want anybody getting hurt out there. because of the angle of how that tree is, there's another small elm right in front of it. I missed the tree when I was going up, but the battle is getting that up. Once you get it up, you can move it around pretty easy. It's just the fact of trying to get it to the top of it right there. I've got it lined back up now. It's sitting on the tree.